Hey guys, welcome back to Silas the Garage. If you guys don't already know from the last video, I went ahead and bought myself a 2017 Ford Focus RS. It's in some serious damage. The whole entire engine block got pushed in. The fuse box got destroyed, the computer got destroyed. So in today's video, I went ahead and picked up an engine hoist from a buddy's house, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the engine out. Before I do that, I have to take off this towel, the battery, the fuse box, and take the engine out, see if there's any kind of cracks in it or any kind of holes or anything. I already noticed that the transmission has a hole in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can weld that up. And if I can, I'll order a new one. But I don't wanna just order new parts right away. I wanna figure out if the engine is fine or not. So without further ado, I'm gonna put this thing on time lapse and start taking the engine out. Let's go. Alright, okay, so I basically got all the stuff on the top done. I got the drive shafts out. This drive shaft here I actually did not take out. The reason why is because it's disconnected already from the whole entire transmission, so I didn't have to worry about that. I'll worry about it as soon as the engine's off. But now that I got the top stuff done, I gotta go underneath here and actually take off the drive shaft on the bottom, since it is a 4x4 unit. So I'm gonna set up a time lapse somewhere in there and take everything off. Alright, so unfortunately I couldn't put my camera underneath the car because of how low it is and my stand just won't fit. Basically what I did is I took off the resonator, or not resonator, but downpipe thingy. I don't know what it's called, the stock one. I'm gonna go ahead and replace it with a nice aftermarket one that's decatted or whatever. And then I went ahead and took off these bolts here. Those bolts actually were kind of tough. There was one angle up there. It's just, I don't know, it's so screwed up. So I went ahead and grabbed a hammer and I did some persuasion with it. Kind of moved it over to the side. I got the bolts off. And now everything's off. So everything down here is basically done. Ooh, I did snap the exhaust ring, whatever what is it called? That clip that goes around it. But I think when I'm gonna get the new downpipe, it's gonna come with one of those clips, or I'm just gonna buy one. It's not a big deal. Up here, I didn't record it, but there's a fuel line that runs into here. And this actually had a fuel line remover on it already, so I guess Ford just puts them on. You probably know they're all gonna fail. Alright, so I'm gonna set up a time lapse here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the engine hoist inside of here, strap it in, and start moving it up. So let's get this sucker. Alright guys, I got the engine completely out of the car, and before I get into what's damaged inside of here, I want to talk about what's damaged in here. So right off the bat, as you guys can see, the rack and pinion went ahead and cracked right in the middle over here, so I can't weld that up or anything. I thought initially of welding it up, because it's like $1,400 brand new, or $1,700 or something, so it's going to suck. See, I thought it was just going to be cracked right here. This thing can just easily weld on there and whatnot, but that's going to suck. Also next, that axle is bent over here. You probably can't really see it that good, but it is bent. I'm just going to go ahead and buy a new axle. Next is the subframe itself. I was talking to my dad. He said, you know, after a hard hit like this, especially if it hit on the axle and whatnot and just bent it in like that, I mean, that's just a crazy amount of bending. And I think that the subframe also went. So that's what's going on inside of here. Other than a few little nicks and scratches and whatnot, that's okay. The back wall is fine. Oh, also, when I was taking this apart, this one had bent, or I mean during the accident, but that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze them together. So that's basically it for the damage inside of here. Not that much, but there's still some significant amount of damage, and pricey as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the engine here. So what I found off right off the bat is there's a hole in the transmission, which I'm gonna go ahead and try to get fixed. That's right there. Also, the mounting on here is pretty bad. I can't find the other pieces. I found this one right here,
which I'll be able to TIG weld that. That one I need in this one, and there's also one in here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that just yet. I'm thinking of definitely welding it, but we'll see. So underneath the engine, this thing is cracked here. That's for that transmission mount. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a new one. Then what kind of irritated me the most is this transfer case. It's perfectly fine, everything spins just right, but this oil cooler here is damaged. And that oil cooler costs $500 or something like that, and I can't find another one on the internet. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually have to buy a new, or not a new, but a used transfer case on eBay or whatnot. All right, yeah, anyways, that sucks, but moving on, we have a wastegate. I already found one of those on eBay, so it's not a big deal. And then I was taking a look on my engine itself, and I don't see any kind of cracks or anything like that. I know that usually RSs like to crack inside of there, but I haven't seen any kind of cracks in there or anything like that. Also, there's no oil dripping out of the oil pan, so I know the oil pan is not cracked. And when I took off the oil filler cap, which is in here, it's kind of blocked in one or whatever, it was full of oil, so it's good to go. There is oil inside the engine. Anyways, moving on to this top cover. When I was taking off the engine, I actually cracked this top cover, but it was already cracked before in the same spot and a few other spots, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually order a new cover for this engine. All right, guys, there's one more thing that I'd like to show on the bottom of the engine, so I'm gonna go ahead and crank this engine up real quick. Should give me enough space. Take a look back here if I can spot it. All right, right here. Oh man, I gotta get some light. See if there you go. All right, so these bolt holes here, they actually cracked, but it's not a big deal. It's part of the transmission, I think. No, it's part of the engine. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and TIG weld something in here and tap a bolt thread in there. There's also a few other things on the transmission side. Oh, also there's a bolt stuck inside of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and use like a reverse bit or something and take that out. Not a big deal. All right, but that's basically it for the engine. I'm pretty surprised. It didn't take much of a beating. I thought it was gonna be really bad after I seen the front of it, but it's pretty healthy. It's pretty good. Like this thing that hole only bust because the differential or whatever, the axle busted off. So, I mean, other than that, other than those small little inconveniences, this engine is perfectly fine. And I went ahead and twisted it as well, and everything twists normal, so that's awesome. Oh, also when I was taking apart the engine, check out what I found. This neat little gem right here. All right, anyways, that's basically it for this video. I went ahead and took off the engine. In the next one, I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble it and just see exactly, maybe there's a few other things that I need to buy, and maybe a few other things are broken, maybe inside the transmission or something. I might have to buy a new transmission because of this mounting thing, but we'll figure it out. But before I go, I went ahead and made a list right here of all the parts that I need. It's gonna give you guys an idea of what's to come in the future. So we have the rear drive shaft, rack and pinion, the K-frame or the subframe, the transaxle or the transfer case, this guy right here, hood, fender, bumper, control arm in the front lower left hand side, front left strut, front sway bar, manifold assembly, throttle bottle assembly, oil adapter, the oil cooler assembly, the switch for the oil, the pressure switch, the cover for the head, this plastic piece over here, the motor and the fan assembly, the support on the lower side, the support on the top, and the support in the middle, or the rebar assembly, the radiator, an AC tube, AC condenser, the wire assembly for the fan, a tie rod assembly, wastegate, front right axle, front left axle, lower engine transmission mount, upper engine mount, and upper transmission mount, fuse box assembly, ECU, and also needs to be reprogrammed by the dealer, plastic battery assembly, and intercooler. Yeah, that's a lot of parts that I have to buy. I have to order and whatnot. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Oh, and also I forgot the airbags, dash airbag, the dash itself, the steering wheel airbag, and the knee airbag as well. So I got a lot of work ahead of me. Anyways, as I said, this is basically it for today's video. Just wanted to read off that list of everything that's to come in the future. Stay tuned for the next one where I'm going to be disassembling the transmission and the transfer case just to see if there's anything else damaged. I don't think that there is, but hopefully not. But I will disassemble it no matter what, because I still have to disassemble the transmission completely, actually out of its case, to start welding this. Alright, I'm going to end this video by saying thank you so much for those people who have subscribed already. If you haven't already subscribed, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to get some notifications of when our next video is going to come out, hit that notification button also. And if you have any comments or concerns about me or this engine or the Ford itself, go ahead and drop a comment down below and tell me your thoughts. Oh, and make sure to hit us up on Instagram at side.hustle.garage, where we give updates and behind the scenes of cars like this Ford Focus RS or my 2016 Porsche 981. So yeah, that's basically it. Alright, I'm gonna head out.